So, The Art of Learning, Josh Waitzkin. What is it about? What's that book about? It's literally about the art of learning, and I'll do a book review shortly. Probably be after this video actually comes out.
Yeah.
But from it got me interested just to have a conversation about how we actually learn. Just like what are some of the steps we might take, some of the ideas behind our learning. We've done podcasts a little bit similar in the past, but I thought maybe let's go deeper into it. Mm-hmm. The book itself, The Art of Learning, is... Do you know much about Josh Waitzkin?
I'm pretty sure I read that book. So as much as you know about him, used to be... was called like the next Bobby Fischer, so he was a chess prodigy, and then became very, very good at that, and then started transitioning away from chess and into different areas, and I've seen him on Tim Ferriss's a couple of times.
Exactly. So and then the whole book is just centered around him going through his life story of going from chess to Tai Chi.
It was called push hands.
Push hands, which is the martial art practice of Tai Chi Chuan, or whatever it's called.
It's basically two people standing together, and then there's a quick react movement, and they have to push the other person off balance. So it's very short movements.
I kind of thought about it because I'm watching a bit of videos. It's just like a lighter version of proper wrestling, I guess. Like, it's a lighter version of proper wrestling.
I'm not even sure I'd call it wrestling. Like, there's no grabbing at all.
There is 100%. Have you seen? I watched the 2004 World Championship.
The one where he wins, right?
Yeah, and it's like proper grabbing. Yeah, they're grabbing and throwing. It's supposed to be more about the ebb and the flow and that, but it kind of eventuates to that. And it's supposed to be, I'm just reading about it in the book, anything between the shoulders to the hips. That's all you can sort of grab onto. Okay. And you can they even do strikes. They even do strikes as well, which I was like, what the hell?
It's been a while since I watched that video.
And look, I have literally no idea of the rules, apart from the fact I know you can get points for throwing your opponent, landing outside of the circle,
and making them step.
Something else. Yeah, so... Yeah. But by no means here are we talking about how good we are at bush head. I have not done any of the art of learning around that. But yeah, just more. I'm not going to delve into the actual book itself, but it just made me think, what are some concepts around learning that either you've picked up along your ways, like learning languages or learning, a new theme that you want to get into. And I thought I might actually get started in this because one thing that I'm going to say now that I'm not doing well in my normal art of learning. I've felt like I've been good at learning a particular concept. I'll point it to something like using Adobe Premiere Pro or After Effects or something like that. I've often found myself that my art of learning there has been more on demand when I need it, as opposed to learning absolutely everything. And what's that eventuated to for me is when I need to go do something, I'll learn through quite quickly around a particular point. So let's just say creating titles within Premiere Pro or on Photoshop. I'll generally be able to very quickly go and be like, oh, this is kind of what I want. Go do a quick little download of, say, half an hour, usually in videos, maybe in playing around. But it'll be a combination of, I'll put it this way, learning what the rules are of the game or the scenario, then putting it into play with those exact rules. And then once I do that well enough, quickly deviating around, like, okay, how else can I play around with these particular settings, get to something, but it's kind of on demand, and I can quickly iterate through that, get something awesome. So in a Premiere Pro or the Photoshop world, it's like, okay, I've done that. So I wouldn't say I know how to use Photoshop, not even close, but for the particular things I needed to, I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to do it very quickly, and I can learn very quickly from that. But that same application, I haven't been doing to cryptocurrency or to NFTs. What I've been doing there, as opposed to kind of on-demand knowledge or putting through what are the rules of the game, playing around with it, and then kind of moving on from there and really learning through it. I haven't. I kind of been stuck at I didn't even go through the first phase of learning what the rules are. I started, if you really pressed me for it and went okay, how exactly does a smart contract interact with an NFT, or how does that actually work with the different layers and the networks and some of the sequences that go through it? I wouldn't have a clue to really begin properly, to be really defined with it. I've played around with it, and that's helped me learn somewhat, but I think there's some deficiencies in my learning there, where if something else came up, I feel it's probably specifically the principles are not there for me. Not yet, not enough. And it's because I also find myself just being so kid in a candy store, looking at everything, being like, oh, this is new, this is cool, oh, this is new, this is cool, and not really being on demand, being like, oh no, what do I care about, and finding the principles to then be able to apply it elsewhere.